Hello, lovely people. Since we are in Ramadan, it's perfect time for a soup. Especially if you're fasting, it is a wonderful idea to break your fast with something warm. So today I made fennel and leek soup. To be honest, I've never heard of fennel before. In Egypt, we're not really familiar with fresh fennel. We know fennel seeds. We drink it as a herb with maybe a teaspoon of honey or something. However, I've never seen fresh fennel before. Since I became a cabin crew or flight attendant, we always have one or two kind of soups that we serve on board aircraft. So one day I saw this fennel and leek soup and I thought, this is very interesting. I went home and I cooked this soup. Since then, trust me, it became one of my favorites. I cook it at least once a month. Fennel has this strong, overpowering flavor, which is very similar to star anise. For people who cook with star anise or are familiar with star anise, we also drink star anise in Egypt, like herb. So I don't want any other vegetable to overpower or to take over the flavor of the fennel. So I'm not adding a lot of vegetables nor spices. I start by chopping one medium-sized onion. The size doesn't really matter because it's all gonna be blended in at the end. However, we just want all vegetables to be cut the same, kind of roughly the same size. I'll use in this soup one celery stick. If you live in Egypt, you will also not be very familiar with this shape of celery because we have different shape of celery. However, they all kind of taste the same. So I just chopped one big celery stick. Then moving on to the second main ingredient of my soup is the leek. Also in Egypt, we don't have this big size leek. We have small size, which looks like the spring onions or green onions or scallion. However, now I live in Dubai, so I got these big leeks. Leek is root vegetable, so you need to really wash it very well. I split it in half. I left the root intact so it holds the vegetable in shape. Washed it very well throughout all layers. Then I removed the root, sliced it roughly the same size as the celery as well. And some people like to throw away this green part of the leek. I find it very delicious and it gives the soup a greenish color as well. So as long as it's clean, I will just leave it. Maybe I'll throw a little bit at the end, but that's it. Moving on to the fennel, I'll chop the bottom part and then I will remove it layer by layer, because I like to wash my vegetables. If it was grilled fennel or fennel that we add on salad, maybe it would be treated differently. But for the soup, I just wash it and I remove layer by layer, and then I will slice it. I'm not sure about you guys, but this process of removing the fennel's layer is just really satisfying to me. After I chopped and sliced and prepped all my vegetables, I'll just go ahead and move to the stove. On a medium-high heat, I placed my pot. I put 2 to 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, and I'll fry all my vegetables at once. The onions, leeks, celery, and fennel. I don't want the color to be caramelized. I don't want it to be brown. I just want the texture to be translucent. When it reaches this stage, I'll add my boiling water and a chicken stock cube. I know that it has MSG. I know it is bad for health. However, I only use it maybe twice, 3 times a year or something like that. So if you have chicken stock or chicken soup or beef soup or even vegetable soup, that would be great. Try to minimize using MSG or artificial flavors. Do not add a lot of water at this stage as well, because a thick soup can always be thinner, or you can adjust the texture later. However, a thin soup takes really long time to thicken up. Of course, I put salt and pepper. I forgot to say that. I seasoned my soup. And as soon as it gets very soft and as soon as all the vegetables cook, I'll start by blending it. You can place it into the mixer or blender. However, you need to wait for the soup to be cooled down for safety reasons. However, if you have hand blender, you can just go ahead and blend the soup. After you make sure the soup is all blended and it doesn't have any bits and pieces, you can adjust the texture by adding more water if it's really thick. And at the end, you just turn off the heat and add a little bit of cooking cream or whipping cream. I like to add whipping cream because it's more rich. And enjoy the most delicious soup that you'll ever have. I hope you try it very soon. Let me know in the comments if you liked it.